I wanted to start up my own business. That was the main reason. I believe I I went on doing a bachelor in entrepreneurship. So when I finished, I started a business in the tattoo industry, and for a year and a half, more or less, 2 years, I tried to make a profitable business, but I couldn't make it. And then I switched my career towards the family business, which I found interesting enough to keep growing and to keep learning something. And then, well, in the more personal part of me, I really like playing tennis. I enjoy reading books, and I really like listening to rock music.
Good.
And I started asking some questions to them. The first thing I did was like making a list of all the tattoo artists that you could find in Valencia, and then I would filter them between different style tattoos and getting the contact info in all of them. And also I would gather the reviews they had in in Google, and also the different ways of contact they had. So when I had all that, when I had that, I I thought of the easiest way of testing this kind of business, which happened to be a place where you could find the best tattoo artist available. So by that moment, I didn't know yet which would be my business model, which was an angular piece of my idea, but I didn't know how to do it yet. So I wanted to try how to test if this was this gap for for the business. So we went well. I went with one landing page made with WordPress that took me 1 week and a lot of headaches of doing it. And this simple landing page would redirect you to a Typeform where I would gather the information of the tattoo you wanted to get and your contact information. Yeah. So when I launched it, we had a really good how can I put it,
engagement at the beginning.
Yeah, really. Thank you. Yeah, a really good engagement because I went full on Instagram paid ads. Yeah. I spent like, I don't know, 20, 30 euros. And in 1 week, we got something around 400, 500 user requests of people wanting to get a tattoo artist for their the tattoo they wanted to get. So once I found this, well, I was overwhelmed with the work I had, and then I had to recommend like this friend you could have the tattoo artist. Yeah. So you could make also the second difference that to me was the main reason to make a newer version was that I wanted to test if these people were ready to pay for this service or not. Mm-hmm. So in this newer version, you could find that you would get your recommendation based on your needs, and you could get three. I mean, you would get three recommendations, and you could book the spot on this tattoo studio. I wanted to charge them to these people 10% of the reservation. Okay. Which was more or less something between 10 and 15 euros. Yeah. And when we released this new version, we found that people didn't get. I mean, the funnel went empty. Okay. No one was getting into this journey. It wasn't the right journey for them, and also when we found that this journey wasn't the right fit for the market, we tried to find another version of it, which was made up of getting again users and hoping for the tattoo artists to tell us which of our customers were getting into their tattoo studios from us. But
Okay.
that was chaotic.
Yeah.
That was chaotic. So when we made the newer version and we found that there was no point in doing that, I started to see some flaws in the business model I was developing. So that united with that I had been, I don't know, 1.5 years developing the project. For me, it was the time to maybe no, I actually did it to stop the project, because right now, as I look backwards, I see some different options that I could have made, or some pivoting I could have managed to do. But in that moment, I felt like the idea wasn't good enough, and that my time developing was at an end.
Okay.
And the turning point was making this newer version of the product and not getting any kind of result. And also, well, first of all, people will tell you a lot in university and friends you speak to that starting up a company is like a roller coaster. I mean, you can be, some days you can be happy as a child, and some other days you can be as the saddest person in the world. So through all the time I tried to develop this project, I went through different phases. I went through a lot of happiness when things were going great, and also I found maybe the darkest or the saddest things in the business world, where you when you are giving everything you have inside of you and you don't get anything in return, and that's frustrating. I mean, like, you get disappointed a lot. So when you first start, you have a lot of energy, a lot. I mean, I was really happy at the time. I was doing everything I could, but maybe once you start the path, you get into some obstacles that you can manage to avoid, or to avoid them, or to get your way through them. But when you find that once and once again you don't find a way to see in your project, I don't know, like the sense that you have something in there where you could ask for the money to invest in it, you know, when you don't find that, it gets really disappointing. I mean, I felt at the end, I gotta say, when I finished the project, I felt relieved.
Okay.
I mean, I felt relieved because, to me, at the end, it was like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah.
I have found no way out. I mean, when I look back right now, when I see the whole picture, I see everything. I see the different ways I could have taken. But when you are there and you have been like a year and a half developing,
you don't have that perspective.
You don't have that perspective, and maybe you have to have the patience there to keep on track. Okay. But I didn't find the strength to keep into it, and as I was developing the project alone, that's something good, because you don't have to, I don't know, you don't depend on anyone. But it's also kind of tough, because you can be very lonesome sometimes. So you suffer everything by yourself, the startup industry. And I had been thinking of trying to work in a venture capital firm, But once I finished, I thought about what I wanted to do, what I thought was best for me, and what the opportunities I could find in the market. As I happen to be very lucky because my family has a business, which back in the day, like when the real estate bubble in Spain was at its highest. They had a company of maybe 200 employees. They were a really big company. Right now, they were really little. And thank God they managed to survive through all that. And I thought that I had the opportunity, and I had never thought about it, of learning from my father, which was a successful, which was and still is a successful entrepreneur who didn't study anything. And went from nothing to everything. And I admire him for that. So yeah, that I decided to go for it once I did it because of a gut feeling, something inside of me that had always been sleeping, had awakened, and I felt like the right step was to try and go for the family business. I also think that from outside it seems like the easiest step,
Yeah.
And to me it was easy to do it. It was no risky at all. I don't know how to put it. I don't have to ask for forgiveness for going for my family business. But yeah, it was the easy path for me. But I feel like I didn't do it because it was easy, but because there was something inside of me that felt that I had this one opportunity to learn from my father and from my mother, which both are in the business, and that if I didn't grasp that opportunity at that time, I wouldn't have the same opportunity again.
Okay.